Hey there, it's Latrina with Plant Food Rocks, where we promote the benefits of following a plant-based diet because plant food has been proven to reduce the onset of cancer and kill sickness. That's why we say plant food rocks. And today I'm back in my kitchen to talk to you about two more of my pharmaceutical recommendations to replace some pharmaceuticals in your medicine cabinet. And of course, I'm playing on the word FARM because there are things that come right from the ground that can help you improve your overall health. Today, I want to talk about two powerhouses and two of the staples in my kitchen and in most of my meals. The first one we're going to talk about are mushrooms. Mushrooms are loaded with nutrition and nutritional value. Main thing it does is that it produces and increases your immunity. So we're in the season where flu season is around the corner. Flu shots are out there right now for people to get. But if you want to be more preventive in your immune system and your immune health, this is a really great way to do that. Now, I have here with me some portobello mushrooms, which are my favorite. 9 times out of 10 in my kitchen, in my refrigerator, you are going to see a container of mushrooms, and they're my favorite. They're a staple for most of the meals that I prepare. And one of the reasons I do that is because of the immune benefits. Years ago, when I started out as a vegan, and I was reading a lot of Dr. Furman's books, and he's just like a guru in this whole thing about health and plant-based health and all of that. And he always recommends mushrooms as a part of your staple in your diet because of its benefits in boosting your immune system. So some of the things that it has is a good source of vitamins like vitamin D, vitamin B. It's a good prebiotic, so it's good for your gut health, which a lot of people have issues with their gut. It's an antioxidant. It supports your heart health, gut health, like I said, and it helps with your weight management because of those different properties. Now, there are tons of mushrooms out there. I have some video from when I was in the farmer's market about a week or so ago, and they just had a ton of ton of mushroom options. With mushrooms being something that's recommended daily for good immunity, farmers market has so many options, man. Like, you just think of portobello and shiitake, but this is like king oyster mushrooms, shiitake, portobello, my favorite. But this is lion's mane. You hear a lot about lion's mane. I've never seen the actual. It looks like a lion's mane now. I know why they call it that. Look at that furry exterior. I've only had it within like burgers, so to see the actual lion's mane is interesting. I wouldn't know what to do with that if I bought it. This is oyster mushroom, which are just amazing. They are just really delicious, and you can do so much with them. Look at that. They're really expensive though. They're really great. The first one we talked about was mushrooms, and just ways to serve that. Obviously, you can put them, I eat them raw. I chop them up and put them in my salads. I saute them pretty much on any meal that I start. You've seen some of my recipes I've done on here where I start the recipes with mushrooms and onions. So you can saute them like that. You can put them in your tofu scramble or your scrambled eggs if that's your preference, or your omelet. It's just so many ways to do it. And of course, you can add them to your burgers. They do that in the restaurants. They even make mushroom burgers. They make great burgers for people following a plant-based diet. So just a lot of ways to use it and to try them. So that's my first recommendation, especially in this cold season that we're about to get into, the cold and flu season, are mushrooms. The second thing that I want to recommend, and is my all-time favorite, is garlic. You hear older people talking about the benefits of garlic, and we kind of blew that off as kids, but they actually, like Don Lemon says, the old folks be knowing. And they be knowing about this garlic. Garlic been around for a long time, and there's a reason for that. It has a lot of antimicrobial, is what the word is, antimicrobial properties that helps you fight off like colds and the flu. So it helps with your immune system, and it helps you fight off infections in that way. It's good for your heart, so it helps to lower your blood pressure. It helps to manage your cholesterol. It helps with cell protection. It reduces inflammation in the body. It helps with bone health, gut health, and it aids in detoxification. So it's been said that it helps to prevent liver injury. So when you're talking about detoxification and that ability to do that, it supposedly helps with your liver function. But what I know for sure is that it really does help you with fighting off your colds and your flus and things like that. And this is just that season where we really want to be mindful of anything that's going to help us naturally boost our immune system, because that's where it all starts. Now, there's research out there that says it's really good for men as far as helping improve blood flow, which is supposedly helps with men in their sperm production. It helps with testosterone. It helps with just the overall sexual health in that way. So that's a really great benefit for men who may find that beneficial. So keep that in mind. And the thing about it is it doesn't take much. So for example, this is a garlic bowl, right? And so the different sections are the cloves. And so 1 to 2 of these cloves a day can really go a long way in helping your overall health. Now, when it comes to preparing with cooking with the garlic, the key is it doesn't need a lot of cooking, and actually the properties or the sulfur compound that's in garlic that has all the benefits that gives garlic all of its health benefits really is it doesn't do well with heat. So what they recommend is, you may have heard people say this. I know I've heard people say to add it at the end. If you're using it to cook, to add it at the end, because you don't want to lose all the potency of that sulfur compound that makes it so healthy for you. Well, they say that it's like a 10-minute garlic rule. So once you chop it or squash it or smash it or whatever, leave it out for like 10 minutes, and that gives that compound that's in it. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Allicin, Allison. I'm not sure if that's right, but that's the compound that has all the health benefits. And so it does better once you chop it, you let that sit for like 10 minutes, and then you put it into your food if you want to cook with it, because that's at that point it no longer has that it's more resistant to the heat, and it's all the potency of that compound is still intact. So you can add it to your food at that point. So just be mindful of that when you're cooking with it. You don't want to go heavy on the garlic, because you actually start smelling bad, because it's not the best smell in its natural state in that way, but it does add a lot of flavor to your cooking and to your food. I love the smell of garlic and onion sauteing, but I just know that garlic is better from a health standpoint if I don't cook it as much. So if I'm just going for flavor, I love mixing it all together. But just know that garlic is one of the best things that you can add to your diet, and it just does wonders for your overall health. So I hope that you find these 2 pharmaceutical recommendations helpful. We talked about mushrooms and we talked about garlic, and I'll just continue to add more to your pharmacy that you can to apply at home. Just give you a little bit at a time so that I don't overwhelm you with too much information. But let me know what you think about these 2 recommendations, and how or if you plan to use these 2 vegetables or plants or into your diet more on a regular basis. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, rock on.